What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So I got one here by Manosphere Highlights Daily, and this is his video 3 years ago. So, yep, we're going to talk about women explain why men are going their own way. So this is motivational Manosphere talk. So here we go. So there.
It's a hard thing to admit, but it's understandable why they would choose to go their own way. And that's what's scary, is there's actually a rational reason why they would do that.
Men going their own about it. But this is a really big problem for women, for us, for our future, for families, for you to find a partner. If a population of good, because they're fed up with women.
If you're being told all your life that you are bad and wrong just for being a man, and that you have toxic masculinity for being a man, and that, women, there's this famous expression that, a woman needs a man just like a fish needs a bicycle. And that men are basically useless, and that men are terrible, and that, women are.
Our society is very callous towards men. The only message most men hear in the world is that they're a bumbling buffoon. The TV shows are full of idiot men. Commercials show men as buffoons. The society is against them. All they hear about is what idiots men are.
It's the mass of women that are taking over the culture and representing women. They're loud. They're mean. They say they want equality. Why are they not protesting in the streets for the changing the laws for alimony or child support or child custody? Because they don't want equality. They want superiority.
More of a slave state, and it's because men are now subjugated to the law and to women, and nobody really believes this except the men who go through, say, bad situation.
Yep, and you're seeing it. Of course, men has gone their own way. Not into like men going your own way, because I think you do both need both genders and races to work together. But the sad thing in the West right now, you know, women are dominating the colleges. It's women this, women that. We have to put them on a pedestal, which does not work. If we simp to women, it does not. No, there's no respect. There's no respect, and men are being told, hey, you're I'm not trying to be crazy about this. Men these days are getting their passports and looking for wives and women that are feminine, not loud, not crazy. And this is where we're at now. And by 2030, we're going to have 60%, 50, 40 to 50, 60% of women single. And most of the men, it's like, nope, I'm good being single, or I'm good going overseas. But let's listen in.
So for a lot of the men, and a lot of them have gotten screwed over in terrible relationships and divorces, and gotten their kids taken away from them. So it's an understandable response.
In the United States of America, as a man, you can't speak up. I think most women tend to be I'm stereotyping, but they tend to be more collectivist. They tend to sort of be more in that socialist mindset. So I don't know that you're going to see a huge change. I think the change will have to come from men.
The lives of women will not change until the men get the opportunity to also examine and define and change their lives. In many ways, I sometimes think that the 20th century was the century where the women made all these massive changes, and the 21st century will be the changes that the men will make, partly in adapting to the changes that the women have done.
And those men are doing something about it. They're saying, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm not getting married, or I'm divorced. They don't sit around just trying to live their life through women. They actually have lots of hobbies. They go out, they buy that land you were talking about. They're out there getting motorcycles. They're having a good time and they're enjoying life without the women in the society that tells them they have to have a woman in their life.
How would you feel?
And you know, if you notice this, you know, a lot of men, even with a lot of the YouTube channels, just talking about how many times they like disrespected, how many times you know, they got divorced, or why come they can't even have a kid right now? Because sometimes that women's gonna weaponize the kid, to use the kid to say, you to see the kid, you need to pay this much money and all this baloney. And okay, and there is some men that need to step up, but majority of the average guy, he is just straight up screwed. And the laws does not help. And why get married in the United States? It's useless. They just get either have a chick out in you know, out in Asia, Dominican Republic, Africa, somewhere else. Until that goes, it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be what? These robot chicks. That's not gonna give them any guff, any problems, and they're gonna live with that robot chick and then talk to the guys. Trust me, this is gonna be a normal thing. Just wait till a guy decides to design it to perfection. That's when the time that guy's gonna get rich and he's gonna become a billionaire or trillionaire. So there you go.
I mean, you know, you're not going to feel that attracted to a woman or care to be loving towards her or romantic towards her. So this men going their own way is a reaction to that. I really think it's a rational reaction to that. Men are finally like, hey, we've given you all you want. You know, you are equal in every way, and then you're still shaming us.
Yep, and shout out to Manosphere Highlights Daily. And yeah, that's happening. And you know, some of the guys that I talk to, they're just like, yeah, I'm ready to get out of here. I'm ready to leave America, and I am just gonna live abroad. It's just and other things like, you know, you could talk about inflation and you know, all of that. It's just going to get worse here in the United States. So yeah, so that's what it is. All right. So if any of you enjoyed this content, please give me the HKO special help ticking out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you are, everyone, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video.